Welcome back to the Broker Power Up podcast, episode 3, the AIME podcast for strategies, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon Haddad.
What's up, brother? Welcome.
Welcome. It's been a week. We're back with more broker buzz from the Brokers Are Best Facebook group. What are people talking about? And we're going to do another sales pitch where John teaches me how to be a better salesman along with everyone else on the podcast, listening to the podcast, and then we will wrap things up with story time with John.
I got a good
story to wrap it all up. I'm excited for it. But first, we got a fortune cookie. We need our fortune for the week.
Oh, by the way, brokers, y'all, the gear is here.
AIME gear is here. AIME, store.aimegroup.com for all your Brokers Are Best gear, and WMN. There's some WMN stuff up there too.
Okay, here we go. I'm on a diet. I can't even eat these fortune cookies right now.
Shame.
I know.
Mail them to me. I'll eat them.
Ooh, here we go. You're taking this one.
Okay.
An opportunity for growth and prosperity is on its way. Lucky numbers 14, 19, 23, 24, 29, 36. An opportunity for growth and prosperity is on its way.
I like the sound of that.
What do you think about it?
Seems like there's an opportunity to grow, and there's things to grow into and ways to move up.
Tell me about your growth over the last couple of years, like taking on the marketing special. How's that been for you?
Well, I've had an interesting career journey. I started real briefly. I was a UI UX designer, and then a front end developer, and then a project manager. And then I worked for an auto parts store for a couple of years during COVID to help my family out. And then got the call to AIME. And they were like, hey, we have a marketing specialist position open. You used to do that kind of stuff. We know you did. Would you be interested? And I said, yes. And here I am. And the amount of things that I've been able to touch at AIME has only increased the longer I've been here, leaving my little footprint where I can and trying to help brokers close more loans, and specifically in the marketing department, because that's what I know the most. I don't know how to write a loan. I don't know how to do any of the mortgage stuff. I know how to ask the right questions, but when it comes to marketing stuff, and that is something that will be coming down the road, I do plan on putting together some how-tos. So stay tuned for that in the future.
I've enjoyed your growth, man. It's been really cool watching you run with ideas too. That's fascinating. You know, as you and I have developed and grown our relationship, it's funny. You want to know the moment that sticks out to me the most with you?
Sure.
Fuse, when you came with me and walked to every single vendor. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I saw you were going, and then because I know you had to go deal with some stuff, and I was like, wait, he's going alone? He shouldn't go alone. He should have someone there.
That meant it was cool. Like, that's a moment because you're right. Because I did have to go deal with some, like, you know, stuff it's just what you have to deal with sometimes with vendors, and rightfully so. They take care of us and we take care of them. Absolutely. But it was really, really fascinating to me watching you just like, no, I'll go. It's like, dude, you're behind the scenes. You sure want to go talk to these people? Like, they might be pissed. You're like, no, good. And that was really cool for me. I was like, he doesn't care at all. Like, he's like, you're like, I'm gonna go meet people.
Well, it's because I care. Because I care.
You don't care about like the potential ramifications, right? You're more caring about AIME and me in that instance. And that to me was like, oh my God, that was just, you know, not something you had to do. Like I was ready to handle it. And you just, can I go? You literally, like, that's how you said it. Can I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that'd be great. So your growth has been awesome, man. And that's what this one is to me. Like that's why I said I'm gonna pass it to you, because you've just been running like crazy right now. For those that don't know, anything that is live where there's things moving in and out, it's all him behind the scenes every step of the way. So thank you, brother. We appreciate you very much.
Appreciate you back. We got a lot to dive into today. We got the broker buzz, of course, where we're going to be diving into the Brokers Are Best Facebook group, going to be answering the top discussions of the week. And then we're gonna do the sales pitch training and the story time with John. So let's dive right into our first segment with our first question. What are the best grant slash DPA programs for first time homebuyers?
The best ones are the ones where you educate your consumers and they know what they're getting themselves into. This is such a good one because I went down a rabbit hole. So in Michigan, they just launched a first generation down payment product for $25,000. And it just comes with so many things that you have to do and you have to know and understand so you can explain to your consumer. Like the fact that you have to pay it back if you refinance or sell your house. And a lot of these clients don't know that. Why? Because I've done a lot of these loans from this specific company that delivers, from this specific state agency that gives these products. They've been around for a long time. They just came out with a new one for first time generation home buyers. So that'd be me. I'd actually be included as a first generation home buyer. My family was born in the Middle East. I was the firstborn in this country in America. So stop, guys, agents, LOs, don't just sell clients on the house, right? Like, and I know not everybody does. So I know it's a general statement. I know a lot of you are doing the time to do diligence, but you really have to understand these products. And you cannot think to yourself, well, who cares? I'm not going to deal with it after it closes. These are consumers that need to be educated. They don't know a lot to begin with, right? Especially if their families have never owned a house. So they need to know, like, do they have to pay the down payment assistance back? If so, when do they pay it back? Do they have to make monthly payments on the down payment assistance? There are some down payment assistance that are forgivable. For instance, if you make 6 on-time payments. But are we explaining that to the consumers? There are some that stay with you for 10 years. There are some that there are some where you literally can get it forgiven the day you close. The second you sign documents, they forgive it. So look into your lenders, look into the products, and do due diligence for your clients. Matter of fact, it's even easier than ever because you can use ChatGPT. Take the URL link, wherever the guidelines are, put it in there into GPT and say, hey, can you tell me the pros and cons of this product? That's what I do. And it'll literally list it all out for you. And it'll tell you everything. Has to pay it back, has to do this, has to do that. You take it, you format it, you put it in an email, you send it to your client, you call your client, you share a screen, and you walk through everything line by line with them. And you say, hey, I just want to make sure the first thing that this says, we're going to go through the cons first and the pros second, or whatever you want to do. I don't care. Hey, do you understand, Tommy, that with this product, the $25,000 that you are being gifted must be paid back?
I'm being gifted it.
You are up front. It's a down payment assistance product, and they're assisting you with getting into the home. It's 0 interest on this loan, Tommy, as you can see on here. So you're not paying anything on it. But whenever you sell this house, if you plan on selling, or if you refinance this house, that $25,000 will have to be paid back to the state agency. I want to make sure we start there first. Do you understand that first and foremost?
So even if I stay in the house and just refinance it.
And team, this is exactly what the conversation does, is exactly what Tommy does. What happens, though, is LOs don't want to have it because they know the consumer is going to ask questions.
Hesitancy.
To ask me the questions. And I record that call and I tell them I'm recording. Why? CYA, my friends. You're not going to say I didn't do this later. You're not going to, God forbid, put me in a courthouse 5-10 years from now and I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs going, I thought they knew the product. John, that's extreme. Fine. Might be extreme for you. I'm a first generation American. Not extreme for me. That's what I want to know when I buy my house. So I'm going to deliver the same thing. That's how I go about it. So just do the same thing. So what are the best ones? The ones that you educate your consumers on. They're great. They're incredible. They help people live the American dream. Let me be very clear. They're amazing products as long as your clients know what's going on. But check out our AIME approved lenders with these products. UWM has a massive list of down payment products. Windsor, EPM, AFR, all of our top lenders, our top sponsors have some sort of access to these products. So please pay attention, take a look, read them, understand them, go through them.
It's funny how so many of these things come down to educate the consumer.
I'm not gonna stop. Consumer, you got to be educated yourself on the product. I cannot tell you how many people I talk to that don't know the guidelines of the certain product. I'm not saying know all guidelines. It's not your job, right? Like understand the basics and just have the right team around you, like we said. But when it comes to talking to a consumer about getting money, yes, understand every single aspect of how it works.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, moving on to our next question. We have, is anyone else having issues with Google reviews? A broker owner had 31 legitimate reviews removed in the last 2 days.
Yes, so this has been a thing with Google that they did address. We lost about 150 ourselves at my company. Google is in the process, if not already. Ours are back. If they're not back already, Google caught it. There was some weird glitch that happened. Also, go into your Google business page and send the right information out to people. There's a bunch of areas in there for you to kind of file the request or the complaint, and they jump into it actually rather quickly. They're really on top of it. I know it's frustrating. I know it's a pain in the butt per se, but they are fixing it. And I don't think there's going to be too many problems moving forward from there. So
cool. Quick answer. Now, moving on to our third question. What do we think of this Sphere LOS announcement by UWM?
It lines up with their business model and what they're doing. At the end of the day, look into what's best for your business. Make sure it makes sense. I see the complaints. I see the people that are positive about it. They had a tremendous amount of registrations. They had well over 1,000 when it comes to registrations. Look, if it makes sense for your book of business, great. Make it make sense. It's free. And if that helps you right now and keeps you, in our broker space and helps you grow and helps you get in front of, consumers and helps you navigate what you need, fine. Wonderful. But, the complaints to me are always a bit weird. It's like companies can do what they want to do. Like it's not, that to me is just always the most fascinating thing is companies can go in the direction that they want to go in. So leverage it. If you're curious, go check it out. Go run it, talk to your AE, see if there's people out there that have used it already. Check in the Facebook group if they have, reach out to them, send them a DM. More than happy. I'm sure they more than happy to talk to you about it. It is a partnership with LendingPad, which I thought was pretty unique. That was cool to me. And it is known that it is LendingPad that initiated it. It's under LendingPad Corporation. If you go look up the business entity that launched all of this. So that was really cool. LendingPad is a huge partner of AIME. And we support the heck out of them, and they've been supporting the heck out of us. So we got nothing but love for LendingPad on our side there. And they're putting themselves in obviously a good position here with whatever they figured out with UWM. So check it out. If you haven't, if it's for your business, great. If it's not, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, if I'm understanding it right, it's just another product that's coming out like any other company. They put out a new product and you can choose to buy it or you can choose not to.
Well, it's so the Sphere is basically all encompassing of they did a CRM, an LOS, a POS, and they tied it all together to give to obviously mortgage brokers right across. And to me, it lines up with some of the stuff that they're doing. For instance, they have Broker X, right? And Broker X is anybody that is not licensed and wants to come get trained. You can send them to this Broker X channel. So it's like they're helping get people licensed and helping get people off the ground quickly. So if some of these brokers don't have the money or the means to be setting all their stuff up, I can see them wanting to look at something like this just to get them off the ground, or maybe they use it long term. I don't know. But the idea and the concept to me does make sense when you look at the business and what they're doing and propelling forward with.
Sure. So it's almost, for lack of a better term, it's like a beginner. It could be viewed as a beginner product, like a new LO coming in, just wanting a suite of things to.
So LendingPad is not a beginner product, and I know that it's built on top of it. So I think that the Sphere, the idea, and I don't know, but it's like a sphere, right? All encompassing, it's all here. So I think the idea is to have it as a package. To your point, I think that makes sense as a package.
It's hey, here's your starter kit.
Yep. But I don't think it's for just new LOs.
No.
Anybody, right, that wants to scale. But I think it might be easier if you're, broker X and you're coming through and you're a new LO and you're on your own. A lot of broker companies, you pay your own expenses. Uh, you know, a lot of the biggest ones that we have out there, you get more of the money, but you pay your expenses. So if you have to pay your expenses and you can save some money and not pay those expenses and it's covered for you, I can see that being a very rational thought for somebody that wants to get into our space.
Sure. Cool. Well, those are our discussions of the broker buzz. So we're going to run a quick ad and then we'll be right back with some sales training.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIME membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIME membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIME membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIME's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIME offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimegroup.com, AIME group.com /membership. Your community is waiting.
All right, and we're back. Time for sales pitch training. I'm ready.
All right. So today's sales pitch is it's a simple one, but the one that gets overlooked really often. And there's a lot to say about getting yeses prior to you going into like a presentation or whatever it is that you're going to end up doing. And so the way that you facilitate the yeses that you're bringing to the table is really important in the way that you talk to the consumer and talk to the clients or anybody it is that you're having a conversation with. That yes is potentially opening up the door, right, subconsciously for an opportunity for you. So one of the areas that I love to leverage yes is prior to presenting a loan to a client. I love getting the yeses prior to presenting. One, it's a confidence booster for me. Hearing a yes on the phone, or if you're on Zoom and you do presentations via Zoom, the head nod is always a giveaway, right? Like if they're head nodding, okay, yep, then that I know I'm in a good path there. So that's what I look for is either the head nod or a verbal yes if I'm on the phone with the consumer. And you do this before you present any single option to a client. So as opposed to you hanging up the phone, or if you do it on, I don't care, but usually it's, hey, Tommy, I'm calling you back. It's Jonathan again. I have your options here for you. I just want to run through them real quick, okay? So grab pen and paper and we just walk through it. That's it. You're going into the meat and the potatoes. I'm building it up. I want to make sure we're on the same page. It also allows you to address anything that maybe you're not on the same page for, because sometimes they'll hit you with a no and you're just like, oh, well, I didn't do a good job understanding. So I'll give you an example of how that works. So I would do something like this. Call Tommy. Tommy, thank you so much. If you can please grab a pen and paper, I've put together a couple of options for you that I think you're going to love. First and foremost, though, I want to make sure that we recap a few things and ensure that you and I are on the same page.
Sure.
Now, for you with this home, the most important thing to you was increasing the size because your family is growing for you and your wife. Is that correct?
Yes.
One. All right. Now, with this specific loan, one of the big factors for you is the fact that we want to take advantage of a buy down so we can get at least a 1% lower interest rate, making that payment more manageable for you and your family while we wait on that raise that you know you're getting coming in September. Is that correct?
Yeah, but 1% doesn't seem like that much.
Now you see that opens. You see what it's doing. But what did I get? I got
You got a yes.
a yes as
But
part of that. Mhm. But now it's opening the door to this. So I love that you did that. Oh, you know what, Tommy? Maybe I obviously did not do a good enough job understanding your goals and what you were trying to accomplish. So let's just go back to that for a second, just to be on the same page here. You see what I'm doing?
yeah,
Right now, I'm going back, I'm readdressing, and then I'm going back into my yes. So I'll readdress the 1%, I'll readdress whatever it is, and then I'll move back. Okay, so just to get back on the same page, we agree that we're on the same page. Obviously, bigger house for you and the growing family, correct?
hmm
Right? Okay,
yes,
perfect. Obviously, making sure that the rate's 1% lower for the first year, helping you from the budget side of things. And I
yes,
addressed that
because
went over
the family's growing and
because the family's growing. We know
money's
we're
gonna be tight. Yeah.
corner. Yep, exactly. Number three. And now just to be on the same, I know this sounds silly, Tommy, but we're not going to be surprising. Your wife, she's on the same page as you when it comes to increasing the size and getting a home. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, we
And now,
are on the same page.
what that does is that isolates the spouse objection as well prior to presenting. So if Tommy said, well, actually, I have to, you know what? I got to run it by her. Oh, Tommy, no problem at all. Can you get on the phone? No, she's not here just yet. Oh, when's she get home? And this is a personal preference. I pivot into moving the meeting. If both people are required for a decision and they haven't talked to one another, they're on the same page. That is a very,
You can't get the complete yes.
makes sense. Like I doesn't make sense to me in my head personally. Like you already know what's happening. I'm not saying I don't do it. I have done it, but it's just very rare that I do, especially if I know that they still need to go figure it out. So I've already gotten 3 yeses that are yeses just from our conversation, right? So I'm just taking what you told me on the first call and I'm getting yeses on the second call. And look how easy it is, right? Like I'm just giving you, it's just layups. It's all true. It's all stuff the consumer already told you. They already told you they wanted all this. I'm simply reiterating the message. I'm getting yeses. I shoot between 3 to 5 yeses every time. That's just a personal preference. So I got 3. All right. So Tommy, now that I understand all that, I got all 3 of those out of the way. I want you to write down your options for this loan. I'm going to give you 2 options. Okay. The first one's with a slightly lower interest rate because I know that's something you had mentioned to me. The second one is going to be my professional opinion. But at the end of the day, I want you to pick the one that you believe is best for you and your family. I'm just going to give you the pros and cons of both. Is that fair?
Fair? Yeah, absolutely.
Tommy, like, look how smooth that is, man. Like it is so smooth and you're just rolling right into a conversation and it's not awkward. I
Yeah,
listen to
'cause
phone calls every day, team. Every day, more than you could possibly imagine. That's been my job for 12 years, is literally listening to calls. You feel the difference when someone presents. Oh, hey, it's John. Hey, Tommy. Yeah, I just want to walk you through it. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like we do a 6.5, and then the client's like, whoa, rate's too high. Whoa, y'all, listen, it's a performance. You're putting on a show. Act like it. Control the call. It's your show. You're the director and the star. How crazy is that? You're the director and the star. So go be a star, direct, navigate, move people in the way that you need them to, and build the anticipation to sell. So the yes for me is a big deal. Shoot for 3 to 5, and you just pull them from your first call. Pay attention to it. Be dialed into it, understand it, and make sure you're reiterating the message properly. Don't just make stuff up because you didn't take good enough notes on the first call. Take notes, ask questions, open up the conversation.
yeah. I mean, I do remember that was one thing that stood out to me was just them remembering the little things that are not little to me, the buyer.
Mm-hmm. And it is, and like, even for you, right? You talked to me about your background and you did front end development, you did UI UX, you did auto parts, right? Like all of that stuff is super important. And part of the presentation is something I could literally ask about. It's like, hey, Tommy, I know with the new job that you have, we got you on the right path from you jumping between UI, UX, and auto parts, and insane your background when it comes to work and just how how much knowledge you have in so many different fields, but I'm sure it feels good to know that you're getting a raise and you're putting your family in a better spot with this big house. Does that sound right?
Oh, it feels great. I'm looking forward to it.
Look, you see that? You see how good that feels? I'm making you feel good because you should feel good about that.
Reminding them of the win that they have.
Yes, man. Guys, perspective is a real thing. John, it's sale. What are you talking about? I'm reminding you of what you told me because I knew it caused emotion for you.
It'll make me smile. It'll change my mood.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So that's the yes, the power of yes before you present. You can do it every time. I do it every single time like clockwork. I don't skip a beat. And then you go right into your presentation, but you have the confidence of having 3 to 5 yeses before you present. And more importantly, you can isolate any objections that you want. If you didn't do it on the first call, you now have the chance to do it right before you present alone. Get the yes as often as you can before you present.
Cool. Well, I learned a lot. I don't know. It's one of those things where you can control, when you're in control of the discussion, if you see it going negative, you can bring up those things to just keep the prospective buyer positive, in a positive mood, right? Like
Well,
that's
it
the goal.
is, right? Like it's a big investment, but if you vetted the client out properly and they qualify and they have it all looks good and everything lines up, right? As you know, like this, you're helping them. So that's where I am with it.
Absolutely. Well, another great sales pitch training. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with Storytime with John.
If you're an independent mortgage broker, real estate pro, or home ownership advocate looking to connect with like-minded professionals, AIME is here to give back. If you're an independent mortgage broker, real estate pro, or home ownership advocate looking to connect with like-minded professionals, we have the perfect event for you. AIME is proud to bring you Unify, completely covered by AIME directly. Unify is AIME's local networking and education series designed to help you and your community build more referral relationships to grow your business together. Each event offers exclusive content focused on a topic shaping the mortgage industry with brief but powerful presentations from experts who have been in your shoes. Expect high-energy networking with real connections happening with real conversations. Plus, we're raffling off some pretty unique prizes at each and every event. Join the AIME's wholesale mortgage community, real estate professionals, and yes, even retail mortgage professionals. We want you there as well, because we know that we can make a difference in our local communities by connecting and having conversations together. This isn't just another event. This is where community meets opportunity. Whether you're looking for business strategies or the right people to help you level up, Unify delivers. Register today and join us for free in Dallas, Texas on March 25th and Phoenix, Arizona on March 27th, with many more locations to come. Just go to unify.aimgroup.com to get started. Now hurry up, spots are limited. Don't miss your chance to be part of something bigger.
All right, welcome back. It's time for Story Time with John. So I'm going to hand it off to John and see you on the other end.
Yes, story time with me over here. I enjoy telling stories. I'm starting to take a really big just liking to it and practicing my craft and the power of them and what they can do for you and help propel you forward. Not something I ever thought I would enjoy growing up as a kid, but it's become something that a lot of people ask me to do now, which is incredible. Just humbling and fascinating, but it also makes me have to work on my craft a tremendous amount. But there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of challenge, lots of practice is the only way to grow. So, story for you. Last week we talked about Ethan, the charismatic closer, and his architects, all of the people behind the scenes, every step in the way. So, this story that I have for you is actually a story about someone at my company, and he actually did this live. So I don't have any issue sharing the story with all of you now, because you can actually find it on his Facebook and my Facebook. So there's an individual who by the name of Vincent Condor. Amazing, amazing human being. I've known him for many, many years. He's been in the industry now over 20 years as a loan officer. So he has seen it all, truly has ins and outs. And last Friday, he got in front of our entire company and he told a story about himself. And he told a story about how he's been in his own way for a really long time. And part of the story, he started talking and he said, I know a person that was resentful and angry at the world because he thought it owed him something. That's how he started this conversation. So right away, everybody in the audience, myself included, everybody took a step back. Silence hit the air. Nothing. You could hear a pin drop. And Vinny started talking. And he started telling the story. He said, there were so many people that tried to help this human being out. Some of these people are actually in this room to this day. And they tried over and over and over again. And this person would be good for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And then he would go back to his old habits and his old cycles. He said, the person I'm talking about is me. And if any of you have ever dealt with me being condescending or petty towards you, can you please raise your hand? And he said, please be honest. And people raised their hand. People raised their hand. He looked and he said, I'm sorry, but I want you to know I'm ready. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to be the person that I am. You see, then he told us a story that hit us all really hard. And he said, I've been this way for so long. I'm finally done with it. And I want to tell you about a story that hit home and really impacted me. A couple years back, I got a call from my mom. And I was so angry and so frustrated because of an issue we had had several weeks prior that I didn't take the call. Matter of fact, I spent 2 weeks not calling her. Finally, after 2 weeks, I called her. She answered. Hey, what's going on? She said to me, your father wants to talk to you before he goes and passes. See, his father passed. And the reason that she called him 2 weeks prior was just so he can come see his dad. And because he was being petty, he didn't do it. He didn't want to call. He didn't want to pick up the phone. And of course, he felt awful when she called him. And he was able to have the conversations, thank God. But it was amazing because the human being he is today is a completely different version. And he's been so consistent now for weeks. And him telling it to the world, our entire company last Friday, I knew he was ready for real change. I knew he had finally made the commitment to himself to get out of his own way. And it's so beautiful to watch his impact. He is providing more value than I could ever imagine. He's going back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's going to networking events. He's posting on social media. He calls his mom every single day just to talk to her. He actually told a funny story how his mom has friends in town and she hasn't called him back. And he's like, God, this is terrible. I hate how this feels. But his mom's having fun. She's like, stop calling me. Leave me alone. I'm busy. And now he laughs about it. See, Vincent's in his 40s. And it took him that long to realize that the only person in his way was himself. And I'm always curious about how many of you are in your way, but think it's someone else's fault. I've been there. I still actually go there at times. Very rare, but it happens. You know, there's a quote. There's a quote that says, the angel said, I'm here to save you. The demon said, I already have. Both were lying, but one person only knew it. See, it's the demon that knows it's lying. They just say, I've already helped you. You're good. Now, the angel, like their belief system is what? It's like they want to do good. They want to do amazing. They want to help as much as they can. But the truth is, the only person that can help you is you. So, what are you willing to do to make changes and get yourself out of your comfort zone? I know it's not easy. I can't stand it some days. I hate it. I despise it. I get angry. But on the other side of it, I see all the people that count on me and depend on me. And I see the impact that can be made just strictly based off the decisions that I make to stay focused, dialed in, positive, and to put the ownership on me when things go south. And Vincent's done that, and it's done nothing but wonders for him and everybody around him. So Vincent Condor, my friend, this one's for you, brother. I love you. Thank you. Don't change. Stay focused. Ooh, got emotional. Ooh. All right.
I'm emotional back here too.
Whew. That was a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take this one.
Thank you.
I think it was a great story. I think there was a lot of the lesson that can be learned from almost all of it is communication matters. And not just communicating for the sake of communicating, but how you communicate, the words you use, how you speak to someone, the cadence that you speak to someone, and the check-ins. Just, hey, how's it going? Are you okay? It's been a while. I haven't talked to you in 2 months. How's it been? Open the door to the communication and allow other people to communicate with you. But
Well, you know what, too, Tommy? Just with what you said, the other part of it is if you've healed in the relation, like in a relationship, if you're the one that's healed, it's on you to be the one that reaches out. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the hard part. That's the ego, because the ego is like, well, they haven't hit me up. All right, well, if you're healed and you're good, maybe they're not. So just fine, let your ego go and hit them up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just thinking about you. You're all right. Just check it. Like, and that's exactly what you're talking about. But like for Vinny, and that's why he's pouring so much into other people, because I can tell the guy's truly healed. Like, I'm good. He's like, I'm good, man. And it's been over a month of this. Long
and it's
been.
Yeah, and it's how you communicate. I was referencing to the Zoom call where he asked people to raise their hand.
Yes.
That's a sign. It's not just he's not only doing the words, but he's invoking an action, right? Which actions speak louder than words. Now, there'll be actions after that you said he's showing, but it's one of those things where you say the words first, but then the actions also need to follow. So same with communication. You communicate with someone, you set expectations, and then you follow.
Spot on. I love it. No, thanks for taking that one. I needed a second. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to give you another second because we have a fuse ad to roll through, and then we'll be back to wrap up the podcast.
Fuse is just around the corner, believe it or not, another year down. And we are excited for the largest event of the entire wholesale mortgage industry. Fuse National Conference 2025 is taking its show on the road. Now emanating from Nashville, Tennessee, from October 23rd through the 25th. This event is all about sales, sales, sales. Don't miss the chance to join us in Music City for 3 days full of the most cutting-edge content we've ever produced, featuring the industry's top minds, leaders, and innovators. Access the newest tools and resources from wholesale leading lenders and vendors. Take part in our acclaimed workshop summits for free. Catch wholesale's rising stars in their very own breakout sessions. And of course, take part in the best and, quite frankly, the most fun networking opportunities you'll find in the wholesale channel. Join us to grow your network, your skill set, and your business at what will no doubt be the greatest Fuse conference yet. Go to fuse.aimgroup.com to sign up and receive updates when tickets go on sale. Secure your hotel room and get your Fuse tickets for free. That's a $600 value for the prices as low as $199 when you sign up for an AIME annual membership. Don't miss your chance to be there when wholesale history is made at Fuse 2025. I can't wait to see you there.
All right, and we're back to recap the episode. I think it might be communication.
Communication for this episode
is the theme of the episode.
You take it and run. This one's yours. I
I started it at the end of Storytime, but as I was thinking about it throughout the episode, it's just communication, right? Like with the broker buzz stuff, like what we think about the LOS sphere. It's all about communication, how you communicate that product to brokers, or the Google reviews, how you communicate. Like, why are Google reviews important? Because they communicate to people that you are a reputable business. And with the DPA programs, it's communicating with your clients and informing them of all these things that they need to be aware of. Because if I was in that situation and then I got a pay raise and then I was like, "Hey, I can refinance. Rates are lower. Let me throw 20 grand at it and refinance." I think that's how it works. And get a lower rate. Oh, wait, what do you mean I have to pay another 25? I have to pay that back? Why? No, I'm not going to do that. So then, yeah. So it's just communication all the way through. It's one of your strongest tools, is one of your strongest assets. It allows you, connecting to last week's episode with the architects, like it allows you to gain those architects, because if you don't communicate what you want properly, you're not going to end up with a result that you're happy with, and you're going to question whether you handed it off to the right people. But maybe you did hand it off to the right people, but it's just how you communicated what you wanted.
100%, man. I love it. That's the perfect one. I got nothing more on that.
Cool. Well, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, do us a favor, hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see the content. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because it comes out every week on YouTube, along with our podcast platforms. Ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content. You'll get a notification right to your phone that, hey, there's a new Broker Power Up episode. There's new anything that AIME put out. You'll be notified. And share this video with a fellow broker who could use a power up. Remember to lead by example, to lift each other up, to grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.